Go ahead and get started with our work session for next week's council meeting, May 1st council meeting. First, we'll have a presentation for Tree City USA from the Alabama Forestry Commission and a proclamation from the mayor for Historic Preservation Month for May. Any comments, Mayor? Okay. Approval of minutes. Anybody have any questions on the minutes? All right, public hearings, ordinance 234555, approved rezoning request 141423 for 53 acres, more or less, located at 2037 Moulton Heights Road Southwest, from an R2 single-family residential district to an R4 multi-family residential district. Set public hearing for June 5th, 2023.
Yes, this is a 53-acre parcel. It's addressed to Moulton Heights Road, but it's bounded on the south by 8th Street as well. Large parcel there. This was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission.
And that was 8-1, 7-1?
7-1.
All right, any questions? We'll be setting the public hearing. All right, public hearings, resolution 23014, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 16 Cherry Street Northeast. Public hearing was set April 3rd, 2023. David?
We're ready to go, but I understand that council may want to remove that. And if we do, I just would like a little guidance. Do we want to give them an opportunity or turn right around and get them under notice?
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, with a change of ownership, I think maybe we can just extend it another month and have conversation with them. That's a recent development, but I don't personally think the right thing to do is within a week and a half of them closing on that to vote to demolish the building. If we wanted to extend this again, like we once already have, that'd be fine. Or if we remove it, but I do think we need to give the new owner the time, if they want to do the demo on their own with their own contractor, the time to do that. But that's just me.
Well, could we have that conversation with them this week, and
Yeah.
then we can decide next week?
I tried to call before the meeting. I believe they're in the air traveling, so.
Okay.
You got their contact information. Maybe you could share it with us.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have that conversation before next week.
Great.
Thanks, David. Any other questions? All right, resolutions. Resolution 23103, assess demolition costs in the amount of $7,330 against 303 11th Avenue Northwest. It's already been done.
Demo's done, routine assessment.
And then saying $9,830 against 2259 Graham Avenue Southwest. All right, any questions? Resolution 23105, approve A-Trip 252-2023-176 agreement, State City, State Route 67 and Upper River Road.
Yeah, this is just our A-Trip agreement between us and the state for our Highway 67 Upper River Road intersection improvements.
And this would not include acquisition of right-of-way, is that correct?
Correct.
And I just, in your opinion on this, we're adding a traffic light on Highway 67. And I get the issue here is safety, but that will slow traffic down on that road. Okay.
It'll probably create a little additional congestion in that area during certain times of the day.
Okay.
Slow things down.
All right, any other questions? And this too, and this is more of a Herman, but when we approve this, we don't think this is it as far as we're approving this project with A-Trip money. The state goes to bid and we're approving this project as is. Is that, or either one of y'all?
Well, that's my understanding.
As it's been designed.
Carl would know more, but
Yeah, that would
basically,
be-
anything above the contract amounts, city plus the acquisition of any right of way.
Okay.
We did have ARPA pinned to that, so would we use ARPA for the, yes, balance, okay.
For the right of way.
And for the right-of-way
Yeah.
acquisition.
All right, thanks, Carl. Resolution 23106, declare surplus of municipal vehicles no longer needed by environmental services.
Yes, this is just a couple of vehicles that are not in use that I've been asked to dispose of.
All right, any questions? All right, then, we've got two that are similar here. Resolution 23-107, approve purchase of one Kenworth T380 loader truck for solid waste. And I'll read the other one too, Daniel. Resolution 23-108, approve purchase of one Kenworth T380 loader truck for solid waste.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. This is we did a purchase order in 2022 for a garbage truck and a loader truck. It got postponed. We reissued the purchase order in 23. Talking to the vendor, there's a possibility we will not get it at all. And if we do, it'll be after the first of the next year. What I'm proposing to do is spend an additional $24,000, go with another vendor, and I will have them end of June, 1st of July.
And this is for the loader truck and the garbage truck?
We're no longer going to do the garbage
No,
truck.
it
We're
is
going to do two loaders.
Two
Two
loaders.
loaders.
Okay.
Canceling the,
Canceling the garbage, two loaders.
Yes.
If I would've turned the page, I would've seen that.
all right.
One is, the funding source for these, one is out of the $1 designation, which is subject to capital expenditures for sanitation trucks, loader trucks, and other capital assets in the sanitation department. And the other one will be funded out of the alley fund, which it originally was, but the increase is adding to that. Okay.
I like the alley fund.
Big alley guy.
So the rules on the alley fund is it's specific, its use is for the alley.
Oh, I'm well aware. I was booed out of a meeting over the alley fund one
sorry,
time.
didn't know the
so,
history.
yeah, long time ago. All right, any questions on that? All right, resolution 23-109, approve mayor to sign agreement with Brycer Compliance Engine for fire service inspection services. Chief, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Tracy Thornton, Fire Department. Somebody put that in there. Hey, we've been working on this for quite a while with Brycer. They service fire departments and cities all across the United States. Basically, what they do is they go through the fire service people that come in and that work with the people that have hood systems, sprinkler systems, alarm systems, and it helps us keep up with what's in date, what's been serviced, when it's been serviced, and it's just it seems to be a good thing from the city. I've talked to people that actually use the service, and they said it's been wonderful, and they hadn't had any complaints, and the two people that I actually know that have it, so.
And there's no real cost. The cost is passed
No,
on.
It's done through the provider
Inspections,
that does the
yeah.
inspections. Since we've been working on this, both Athens and Huntsville, I hadn't talked to anybody from them, but both Athens and Huntsville started using this one also.
Okay. Any questions? All right, resolution 23-110, approve application for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Port Security Grant.
All right, so this is the same grant we brought to council for multiple years, trying to get a fireboat for the city. We would apply for this port security grant, and it has a 25% match by the city. The price of the boat was $699,430, and that would make the city's match a little under $175,000. We've also been looking at trying to get some other ways to get some financing to help out with this, and we're still in the process of that.
What's the deadline on the application?
So we would like to get it in early, but the absolute deadline, I believe, is May 15th, but we'd like to get it in before that time.
May 15th?
Yep.
Okay.
So you touched base with industries up and down the river about helping with this match, correct?
Yes, sir.
Been kind of successful with that?
We have gotten some people to say that they would pledge an amount, and we've also got multiple others that seem very positive about it, but they're having to wait till their mid-year or their fiscal year budget rollover to make sure that they can do it.
Do you think it would cover the match? I don't know.
It's according to what they come up with. I don't know.
What, and you, we've talked about this before, but I can't remember, just an estimate on annual cost?
So I believe we give that stuff to
Yeah.
Councilman Pike. We're guessing around 20-something thousand dollars a year probably. And that seems to be kind of a high guess on it, to be very
Just
conservative with it.
routine maintenance.
Fuel,
Yeah,
yeah.
fuel, a lot of it
Equipment.
is fuel.
Is there gonna be any specialized training required for this? Like, I mean, are we gonna be
And
sending?
part of that grant, it comes with, when we get the boat, they do training with it also. That's
Will there
part of
be,
the grant.
will there be continual training? Like, you know, you gotta get, like, if we send a boatload of guys to San Diego to become scuba certified, like in 4 years, we're gonna have to send them back?
We train every year on everything, so yes,
Y'all got
this would
scuba.
be this.
Yeah,
We do have some people that are scuba
signed up.
certified already, or dive certified, there's different levels of dive, and we have all kind of different levels of divers.
All right. Any other questions? Additional
Did you
questions?
check the insurance cost? Is it the same size boat as glass?
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions? Thanks, Chief. Resolution 23-111, approved budget amendment for moving of the Horton House Ciota project from room occupancy.
So, the previous administration, one of the last resolutions that were passed was when we were to spend money out of the room occupancy fund, the hospitality board had to have approval in addition to, city council.
Help me with that. So it's room occupancy fund, we collect it, we administer it, we handle all that. So it's essentially city funds, but we have to have them give us permission to use the funds.
That's how the resolution was written. I don't know what else to say. Essentially, I think, you know, in the past, I would say majority of the funds that were spent out of that fund were related to Ingalls Harbor. So the history and the mindset, maybe Mr. Jackson could touch on. I'm not sure the reasoning for the additional control on that, but essentially what this is doing is the hospitality board has approved $250,000 from the room occupancy fund for the Ciota project, and this would allow me to be able to disperse that to them with council approval.
All right, any other questions? All right, resolution 23-112, approve the replacement of 7 HVAC units, building controls, and 3 exhaust fans at the Princess Theater.
Jason Lake Parks and Recreation. This would be to replace 7 units. They would also include the controls for those units and the exhaust fans that go with that at a total of $702,313.
And is some of this heritage or no?
Yes.
I got it. $452,313 would be from American Capital Improvements, and then the remainder would come out of the general fund.
Okay.
Just one note on the last point. One of the reasons that came about with the vote for hospitality was, my understanding was that was a group of hoteliers that came to the city and actually requested that money be taxed. And with them taking that step, they wanted to make sure that those monies were being used for things that would bring things into the city. So I don't think they ever really asked originally for a vote, but when there were times they didn't know what that money was being used for, so that's what.
It's earmarked for tourism product development, if I remember correctly. It's the way it's worded.
Right.
All right, any questions on the Princess?
And they came to a little over $700,000, Jason? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Is that what I read right?
Yes. 702. 702. It's off a Sourcewell contract, so it's a state bid.
And we're doing 7 units, is what you said?
Yes, sir. That's just replacing what's there, from my understanding.
Okay.
All right, resolution 23-113, authorized purchase of vehicles for various departments.
So you'll remember during the original budget, we put a lot of money to address some of our issues with our non-public safety fleet. So what we did was we had it placed into a miscellaneous department, and when we actually physically got the analysis done and the trucks available, we would come to council and move them to the appropriate department. So we're here today finally to present that. This resolution will authorize to spend, we had $500,000 budgeted. This will allow us to purchase 7 Ford F-150s and 1 cargo van. The F-150s are split between multiple departments, 2 going to Parks and Rec, 1 to Point Mallard, 1 to building maintenance, 1 to community development, 1 to the streets department, and 1 to building inspection. And then the cargo van is also in Parks and Rec. There are also, with your permission, I would like to add, since this did not cover the full $500,000, there's still some remaining budget to be used. There are 2 assets that were sent out on the Decatur Utilities list for their surplus that would be suitable for replacement in Parks and Rec as well. And I'd like to add that to this resolution to be able to purchase that as well.
Is that one reason because it's easier to get those than?
So the one asset is a Ford F-250. We bid out to Lynn Layton. They could not make a bid on it. There's no 250s on any state bids available. They have a used 250 that is a 2017, and our newest 250 is 2005. So this would be a pretty significant upgrade to that as well.
So we're gonna buy these from Decatur Utilities.
Just the 2 that I'd like to add.
That's what I'm saying.
The others are coming from, is it Stivers?
So
And
yes.
we did a local bid as well, and it's included in the packet, and it was a significant decrease by purchasing it from the state bid.
I guess, I mean, if we're buying them, effectively the citizens of Decatur are buying them. Decatur Utilities bought them before, and citizens of Decatur bought them before, so the citizens of Decatur are effectively buying them twice.
I understand this is pretty typical practice. We've purchased multiple assets over many years.
Yeah, I never supported that because of that reason, but yeah, I understand.
And I could have Aaron come in and express the need of the 250. I mean, he shared with me today that, you know, I think he used the example of riding a lawnmower an hour down the road because we don't have a truck to pull a trailer to have that. So
I mean, I don't have a problem with them needing it or
Yeah.
us getting it. I do have a problem with
Buying
figuring
it
out how
twice,
citizens don't have to pay for it twice.
understand.
One other point also with that is there would be several rounds of us, vehicles that we would, as we get vehicles that would be turned back in before the ones that we would get from DU would be on that list, just simply because they're so much newer than a lot of the ones that we currently have.
So in certain situations, Jason touched on, some of the vehicles we'll be replacing in certain departments will be nicer and newer than the depleted fleet we have in Parks and Rec. So we'll surplus the oldest of the entire bunch and keep the newer ones in rotation until we can catch up. The goal is to be what Decatur Utility is when we can get there with making the investment year over year. We're just extremely behind.
Okay.
And not necessarily sending it to DU, but to other municipalities,
Just who
whomever.
has them.
Correct.
They're gonna sell them to somebody.
Somebody.
All right, any other questions? All right, resolution 23-114, approve MOU between city and Decatur City Schools regarding Austin Junior High gym usage by DYS.
There's some adjustments in it. We will be using Austin Gym for our alumni game, but for our summer camp, we'll be using Banks Cadell Gym and CAP, which is long-term case. We'll be using that part of the building to house our programs. So we got to make an adjustment in
So
this.
there will just be some adjustments made between
Yes, sir.
now and next week with
Yes, sir.
the Decatur City Schools. Okay. All right, any questions? All right, thanks, Brandon. Ordinance is first reading, ordinance 23-4556, approval of duplicated street McClellan Drive Southeast to be changed to Emma Drive Southeast.
Yes, in the plating of a recent subdivision, it was discovered that there's a potential conflict between 2 street names. It was a fortunate catch in that this street has no homes currently addressed to it. So it is a relatively easy change to make at this point for this one. But working with the developer that is continuing this Foxwood subdivision, they have proposed Emma Drive to be the new name.
All right, any questions? All right, ordinances, ordinance 234552, approve FY 24 ad valorem tax levy.
That's that new tax, isn't it, Herman?
You what?
That's that new tax?
It's a new one. No, it's not new. Each year, the state law requires us to reaffirm our millage. And you do it in May. That's what the city clerk being attuned to all that is good. So we ask that you approve it, but it's not increasing any wise the ad valorem tax.
All right, any questions? All right, reappoint Tim Lovelace to the Decatur Morgan County Port Authority, term expiring May 17th, 2028. That is his third term on the Port Authority. Any questions? All right, our council meeting next week will be work session at 5:30 and council meeting at 6. Anything else from directors? Mayor?
No, sir.
Anything else from council? All right, we're adjourned. Thanks.
Hey, Alex.